of course not based science. 0 food poisonings, 300 dead souls. How can I get my tummy upset? I manifested this shit. Law of attraction, master. Up in this bitch. Guys, fellow geniuses, and other people that are watching, it's done. It's done, son. The streak that everybody said couldn't be done, the whole world said it couldn't be done, medical establishment, everybody said this kind of streak couldn't be done, but base science did it. But it's done now. It's done. The streak is no more, guys. The streak is over. I got salmon-Nutella. Or did I? We're gonna find out today. Got some stank-ass chicken, but I'm not kidding. I might have gotten salmon-Nutella. This day is the most critical day on this experiment so far. If I'm gonna get salmon-Nutella again from this piece of raw chicken, it's over. Salmon-Nutella confirmed. Because let me tell you guys, yesterday I did not upload. Even though I could, because these videos are coming to you guys 12 days after I've made them. So I could have faked this or that. I could have erased this thing from history and made it seem like nothing happened. But that wouldn't be science, wouldn't it? That wouldn't be base science. Yesterday, what did I tell you in the beginning of this video? What did I was just saying the day before all of this went down? Where is that food poison? Is it the salmon-Nutella? Or was it the ordinary ass food poisoning? That's the real question now. And that's what we are figuring out today. But let me tell you this story. Yesterday, I was on the toilet. Few more times than I usually am. And I was excreting materials, food out of my body from both ways. From here and there. It finally happened. It wasn't too bad, to be honest. But let me tell you the story. On the day 279 raw chicken experiment that goes down in history as the last day of the longest raw chicken streak of all time. Because I ate my raw chicken in front of you guys. I ate some other stuff out of the camera for my dinner. It was probably at 6 or 7 p.m. Life was good. I continued my evening. Everything was good. I went to sleep. Everything was good. fell to sleep beautifully. Sleep was beautiful, excellent sleep. Woke up early, 7 a.m. Watched the sunrise at 8 a.m. Life was good. At this time I also started to make my big ass breakfast. And this breakfast consists of meat stock made out of pig legs, pork legs that I had made 3 days prior. I was cooking this meat stock very collagenous, gelatin heavy. You feel me? And I've been eating this stock a couple days prior, but it has been sitting on my fridge. I also had a couple cooked carrots boiling in the stock. I also had big steak, organic steak actually, that I've been having also in the previous days prior that. I also had some Gruyere cheese from the Switzerland, from the Alps, breaking my only eating foods from local sources rule, because I was craving the sweet cheese. It was a big breakfast. First I consumed the meat stock. Outside on my balcony it was freezing cold, but the sun was shining on my eyes and my chest. Meat stock was very warm. It tasted fine. Then I had my steak, then I had my carrots, and then I had my cheese. Very big breakfast. Then I went to the city to handle some business there. Few hours. I was up and going. Outside, inside, in the city, and I started to notice that my brain was a little weird. My brain was slightly off, slightly heavy feeling in my brain. I wasn't as sharp that I usually am most days, but some days are like that. Maybe some days you don't feel like I didn't really pay too much attention, not stressing about it. Then I noticed my smell. Like I was in the city, so I didn't know what the smell is, but I was smelling constantly some kind of rancid, kind of bad smell. Now thinking back, maybe it was me. Maybe the toxicity was oozing out of my pores to my nostrils. But I was starting to notice that my feeling was a little bit off, my brain was a little bit off, and I was smelling. There was this scent of something ain't right. Few hours gone by, maybe 2-3 hours, I come back and I feel a little bit off. And when I sit here, I started to read something on my computer and I noticed I couldn't really focus as much, that the brain was really off, and I decided to go lay down for a bit, take a little bit more chill. Take it a bit more chill, yes. And when I was laying down there, this was probably like 3 or 4 hours after I ate my breakfast, big ass breakfast, I started to notice I was a bit nauseous. And then it was not a little bit anymore. Then I was a bit more nauseous. Then I noticed I just laying on my back on my linen sheets, it ain't really that comfy anymore. I was not that comfortable anymore. I was more nauseous and my head started to spin a little bit. I started to trip. And this is when all the people that said, "You're gonna get that salmon-Nutella, eating that raw chicken, you're gonna get that salmon-Nutella," all those people's messages started to race in my mind. I was thinking about, if I'm gonna die here, if you die, you die, I don't freaking care anymore. we're gonna see what happens. I had to sit up on the edge of my bed. I started to massage my head, my eyes, because that was the only thing taking my attention away from my stomach. There was no hurting, no pain in my stomach, just very nauseous, and my head was spinning. It was quite psychedelic, I would say. And then, when I started to think about the meat stock made from the pork feet, that's when the toilet started to call my name. I really wanted to start puking. But before this, what happened actually I forgot. I took a very big shit. When the nauseous levels were at already quite high, I took a very big shit, like everything came out, but it was not diarrhea yet. It was just normal shit, but very big, much larger than usual. And I was, for a couple of seconds, I was like, okay, maybe this is it. Maybe this is gonna make me feel better. But a couple of seconds later, the nausea didn't stop. Next up. Now after that, we're sitting on the edge of my bed, massaging my head. If my thoughts went through the meat stock I had in the morning, that's when that was real bad. That's when I really wanted to start puking. But there was no like incredible sense that I need to puke right now or I need to shit right now. But then it started to get so bad that I was like, okay, I'm gonna puke. I decided I'm gonna puke. It didn't feel like I had to, but I was like, I'm gonna puke and see what happens. I walked to the toilet. I was hesitating a little bit, like, do I really wanna puke? Or can I get over with this without puking? And I was like, fuck it, let's puke. And then it was puke time. First time puking. For a couple of years, actually. So that's not good. Was it the raw chicken I ate the day before? That's what we are getting after it right here. Was it some other soup? Then that really helped my nausea quite a bit. I went to lay down. My stomach was still a little bit off, but no pain at any point. That was nice. Then I maybe kinda slept a little bit, not really sleeping, but rested my eyes on my bed for maybe one or 2 hours. But then I started to feel nauseous again. I was like, that was not all. Then I was also, there was this race because I had some work in the afternoon. That, am I gonna make it to work? I have never cancelled my work. Never. For anything. And this was no exception. But I was like, I'm a bit nauseous and it's getting quite close to when I had to leave to my work. Maybe it was 40 minutes before I had to leave. 30 minutes, I'm a little bit more nauseous. And then I was like, okay, we need to go to the toilet again. We need to puke again one more time. I walked to the toilet and then no hesitation. It was routine operation at that point. And I puke. It was much less volume. It felt like I got everything out of my stomach in that one. Then I stand up and I'm ready. I'm kind of ready to start to go to my work. But maybe 10 seconds go by and I'm like, oh, I have to shit now? I just puked and now I have to shit. And I had that big shit before any puking. So 10 seconds go by with my second puking episode. I stand up. I'm like, I got 20 minutes before I need to be at work. And I like, okay, we gotta shit now. And then the floodgates opened. It was very enjoyable diarrhea shit. This time, a bit more watery. And the smell was pretty bad. But it was not the worst smell yet. Now, this will be made into the base science movie that will come out one day. Because after I puked, stand up, then I took a shit, diarrhea shit, stand up, then I just was like, okay, I'm ready to go to work. I walked to the work, had some work, couple hours. It was mostly brain work, and my brain was still working. My brain was racing, bro. All those comments about salmon, you gonna get salmon-NUTELLA. Actually, no, I didn't really give a fuck. But they did come to my mind at the very beginning. But then I was like, at this point, it was close to being over already. I could feel that we are close getting over it. It's not gonna get that much worse anymore after the second puking and the diarrhea. But I still felt at work I had to clench my asshole. A few times, quite a bit at work. And I still felt very kind of spinning in my head. But I could function somewhat normally. And my brain was working pretty good still. But I was ready to get off. And as soon as I went off, I walked back home, and then was the final shit. And this is when I really got, the puking got all out of my stomach, and the shit got all out of my colon. Like the last little bits that were in my colon, that were remaining some horrid shit. Literally the worst smelling shit ever. Maybe I've had worse before sometime, I don't remember. But this was horrific smelling shit. But it came out super nice diarrhea, just smelled awful. And that was probably what I was smelling when I was out and about, just walking in the city. And some scent of bad smell came to, that was probably me. Because I was already, my body was already detoxifying this bullshit I have been eating. Was it the chicken or the things I ate in the morning? We gotta get to there. My body was detoxifying this shit out of my pores. But this final shit, at this point I was not that even as nauseous anymore, but there was still like something in my stomach. And then when that horrific shit came out, then it was good. But I was super dehydrated, I haven't been drinking any water. I was kind of tired, as you can imagine. So I just went to wrapped myself into my linen sheets, blocked the window light, and started to kind of sleep, but I really couldn't sleep. My body was extremely tired, but my mind was racing still. Like my mind didn't want to sleep at all. So I just laid there for hours. Then at night time, when I usually go to bed, I got this energy purge. And then I was drinking some water, and I was kind of like, okay, I'm good now. But I had to do something before I get to, my brain switched to sleeping mode again. But that's what happened. So I got salmon-NUTELLA, or did I get regular AS food poisoning? That's what we're gonna find out, because this raw chicken, this piece what I've been eating, is the same piece that I had from the same batch that I ate 2 days ago. When was the last time I ate raw chicken in front of you guys? So if this piece is gonna get my ass back to the toilet again later today or tomorrow, it's the salmon-NUTELLA, guys. But if it doesn't, because I'm 99% sure it was the breakfast and it was the meat stock, because that was the image in my mind that really made me like just gag when I thought about in my worst state about the meat stock. It was so bad. Like I wanted to gag. I wanted to puke right there and then. But the weird thing is, when I thought about raw chicken, my body was like, oh, raw chicken would be kind of juicy right now. Raw chicken is so easy to digest. I would kind of want some raw chicken. Or if I thought about the steak I had in the morning, my body would be like, oh, the steak so juicy right now. The steak so easy to digest. I would like some steak. And all of the symptoms started after I eat the breakfast. There were nothing before that. Nothing after I ate the raw chicken. Maybe it was the muscles 2 days prior. Can they be hiding in my stomach a couple days? I don't think so. It was the freaking pork again. Maybe I hold the freaking meat stock too long. Freaking cooked food, you can't even store it. And here's the craziest part of the story. Here's how I broke my food poisoning fast. This morning I had been not eaten in like 23 hours. Shit my brains out. And how do I break my food poisoning fast? What's some easy to digest probiotic foods? You guessed it. Because somebody had meat. Because I was like, oh, I really wanna taste my gut. Like there's nothing in my gut right now. So I wanna taste how it reacts to this fermented liver. 2-week fermented liver. And this was the first bite of food I had in the morning after this whole episode, the saga, the salmon-NUTELLA saga. And then I had some regular liver as well. And I was completely fine. I went outside into the sunshine and I was fine, bro. And I've been fine, feeling good. Today, a little bit more tired than usual, a little bit dehydrated. But that's the story. Now, if I'm gonna get those kind of symptoms again, then we can conclude it was probably the raw chicken. And this is some stanky ass raw chicken, let me tell you. I think the final experiment date has already been gone past, or this is the final day in the package that they say you can eat the raw chicken, but it is stank ass chicken. But it's from the same batch that I had 2 days ago. But anyway, yesterday no raw chicken. First food poisoning in a couple years. The last one I had prior that was also, if my hypothesis that it is from the cooked pork meat stock. My last one 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago, was also from these pork sausages, I remember, from a local farm. And those made me feel very nauseous. So that's what happened. The streak is over. Let me know what you think about it. What's your diagnosis? What do you think about what happened? But the streak is gone. We couldn't make it to 300. Oh well, life moves on. But I gotta say, this raw chicken, like my body was craving the raw chicken while I was freaking puking. Now, there's no problems. It tastes like raw chicken, which is delicious. Anyway, interesting things in the world of base science. Science never stops. But if this starts to happen more often, then we're in trouble. Then we need to reassess what we're doing over here. Then we're in real trouble. But I have been playing with fire a little bit over here, testing my limits. But maybe the hot meat, raw chicken, maybe that's not the culprit. The cause of this food poisoning, or was it salmon-NUTELLA? Let me know your opinion. Now, let's see if there's a video tomorrow.